يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। करीब करीब आ जाओ, कम क्लोजर। जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। ये जगहों में इसको संभालता हूँ। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद। अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। या अय्युहन्नासु इत्तक़ू रब्बकुमुल्लज़ी ख़लक़कुम मिन नफ़्सिन वाहिदह व ख़लक़ मिनहा ज़ौजहा व बस्स मिनहुमा रिजालन कसीरन व निसाअ वत्तक़ुल्लाहल्लज़ी तसाअलून बिही वल अरहाम इन्नल्लाह कान अलैकुम रक़ीबा। सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम। माफ़ कीजिए, मैंने आपको देखा नहीं था, बैठ गया फिर देखा। आप पहले बैठते थे या कुछ बयान करते। Respected elders, brothers, friends, first of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Allah's blessings, ni'mats. Allah give us tawfiq to do shukr. Then, by Talha, yesterday in the Shadi Dawat, said, Maulana Sahab, can we arrange bayan for you? I said, no problem. मौलवी साहब का काम क्या है? बयान करना। वैसे भी बाज़ मौलवी साहब बेचारे बदनाम होते हैं कि मौलवी साहब माइक निकल जाते हैं, छोड़ते ही नहीं हैं। तो ऐसी बात तो नहीं है, आपने दावत दी है, इंशाअल्लाह हमारा काम ड्यूटी बयान करना है, करेंगे इंशाअल्लाह। और एक आलिम के लिए मोस्ट सेटिस्फाइंग थिंग इज़ नॉट खाने पीने की दावत, इज़ दावत फॉर सम दीनी रिलीजियस टॉक कॉन्वर्सेशन के लिए फ़ायदा हो, because this is for our akhirah. We also benefit. La yahdi Allahu bika rajulan wahid khayrun laka min humurin na'am. If one person is guided through you, then it's better for you than red camels. In one riwayat, khayrun laka min ad-dunya wa ma fiha, better than dunya wa ma fiha. So, jazakallah for the invitation for talk. Also for the congregation. لن يشبع المؤمن من خير يسمعه حتى يكون منتهاه الجنة. A mu'min's belly should never be filled from khair which he can hear and learn until his final destination is Jannat. Meaning, no matter how knowledgeable you are, you will still learn something new. So keep on learning. Min khairin yasma'uhu. Keep on listening to good advices, good talks, because you will benefit something from it. Our mashayikh say a murid cannot benefit from the talks of his shaykh unless he hears one thing 100 times and he still feels fresh as he's listening the first time. 100 दफ़े भी एक बात सुने तो भी ये हो कि नहीं वही मज़ा है जो पहली दफ़े आया था, तो कहेंगे कि ये मुरीद अपने शेख से बराबर फ़ायदा उठा रहा। Though, let's keep listening. Whenever you hear about bayan and you have time, go to the masjid. If not time, listen at home. अब तो बहुत फैसिलिटी है, सोफा पे आराम से बैठ के भी सुन सकते हैं, और ऑनलाइन फैसिलिटी है, बयान कहाँ हो रहा है, कोई सुन कहाँ रहा है. I went for Hajj and this youngster sees me and says, Raheem. Yes, I am called Abdul Rahim. My name is Abdul Rahim. I am your student. How is my student? Hey, you were teaching this course on Al-Balagh Academy and I did that course. Where are you from? I am from New Jersey, USA. मैंने कभी गया भी नहीं न्यू जर्सी यूएसए, लेकिन वहाँ पढ़ रहा है. एक दफे someone came running from Australia. You said Abdul Rahim? I am from Australia. I listen to your talks on YouTube. अब देखो हम बयान कहाँ करते हैं, कोई सुन कहाँ रहा है, किसको फ़ायदा हो रहा है, कौन कहाँ फ़ायदा उठा रहा है. मर्द फ़ायदा उठा रहा, औरतें फ़ायदा उठा रही हैं. तो इसलिए ये बातें, दीनी बातें जो हैं, ये हमारे लिए भी मुफीद हैं कि अल्लाह खुश होते हैं, अल्लाह के यहाँ अजर मिलता है, सवाब मिलता है. सुनने वाले के लिए भी मुफीद है, बोथ बेनिफिट. तो इसलिए मैं तो अल्लाह को कहता हूँ जज़ाकल्लाह. वैसे भी हम खाने पीने में टाइम गुजर जाता है, थोड़ी देर के लिए बैठ के बात कर लेते हैं. Now what to talk about? Since we've come here for nikah program, so I thought let's do tafseer of the first ayat of Surah Nisaa, because it is recited in the khutbah. There's 3 ayats recited. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahidatin liyant. And Maulana Imam Sahib just recited, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida yuslih lakum a'malakum wa yaghfir lakum dhunubakum ila akhir al-ayah. Now these 3 ayats were not invented by any alim. Our Prophet ﷺ himself recited these 3 ayats in khutbah nikah. The hadith is in Mishkatul Musawi, Babul Khutbah, Awil Khitbah, Al-Faslu Thani, and it's the first hadith in Al-Faslu Thani. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam read Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu khutbah, and then read his 3 ayats, and then conducted nikah. So we based on that. Our mashayikh normally read this ayat. I used to hear my Hazrat read these 3 ayat in this order. That's why I read them in the same order. First, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi. Then since first ayat of the surah, so Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum. And then Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida from Surah Al-Ahzab. So, if you reflect on all 3 ayats, there's one word in common, repeated 4 times. Ittaqullah, 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 ittaqu rabbakum. In this ayat, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, ittaqu rabbakum, have taqwa of your Rabb, alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida, who created you from a single soul, wa khalaqa minha zawjaha, and created from it its partner. وَبَثَّ مِنْهُمَا رِجَالًا كَثِيرًا وَنِسَاءً, and scattered many a men and women from the twain. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, and have taqwa of Allah. الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامِ, in whose name you ask from one another. And be mindful of your relations. Why? Because inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba. Allah is always watchful over you. He is looking. CCTV camera is there over your head 24/7. Every movement is recorded, every word is recorded, every act, every deed is recorded. So be mindful of that, Allah. Beautiful advice. The first ayat of Surah Nisaa. Surah Nisaa in itself is the Madani Surah, revealed upon Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam after Hijrah migration, sometime after Hijrah. Surah Baqarah is one of the earliest after Hijrah. Surah Baqarah came after that later on. A point to note here is that in Quran there is no Surah Rijal, only Surah Nisaa. No surah for men, only surah for women. That means Quran gives great importance to women's rights. If you see, before Quran came, women were not given any rights. Quran came and give them their due rights. They had no rights in marriage, they had no rights in miras, they had no rights, hukuk over their husbands. They were just used like cattle, nauzubillah, by the people of ignorance, jahiliyyah. Even though those who were called Ahle Kitab, they used to feel that a woman is a wretched person, she is vile, she should be abused, insulted, nauzubillah. They added verses in their scriptures which portray women as vile creatures. That she took us out of Jannat and she made Adam alayhi salam eat from that tree, and nauzubillah, so she has to be blamed, and we have to stay away from her, and all these behavior. If she does this, then you must shave her head. If she does that, you must beat her up in this manner. He added these things in scripture. Allah never said these things. It is man-made verses which were added into the scriptures. This is why one professor studied the religious scriptures, Tawrat, Zabur, Injil, Quran, and he said the softest of them is Quran Sharif. The most gentle, the most kind, the one with the most merciful. It has no harsh verses. The softest and the most gentle of all scriptures is the Quran. They embraced Islam. This video is on YouTube. One hour's lecture. So Quran came and gave women their rights. And this surah is all about women's rights. And surah starts with Ya ayyuhan nasu ttaqu rabbakum, about huququn Nisaa. And then Allah talks about huququn Nisaa throughout the whole surah. About nikah, marriage, miras, and about ahkam, al-huquq, washiruhunna bil-ma'ruf, muharramat, hurrimat alaykum ummahatukum. And then moving on, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ. Social rights, huquq. And then various nasihat, and in the middle, يَسْتَفْتُونَكَ فِي النِّسَاءِ قُلِ اللَّهُ يُفْتِيكُمْ فِيهِنَّ وَمَا يُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الْكِتَابِ. And Quran ends the surah. Surah ends also with miras masla. يَسْتَفْتُونَكَ قُلِ اللَّهُ يُفْتِيكُمْ فِي الْكَلَالَةِ إِنِ امْرُؤٌ هَلَكَ لَيْسَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَلَهُ أُخْتٌ فَلَهَا نِصْفُ مَا تَرَكَ وَهُوَ يَرِثُهَا إِن لَّمْ يَكُن لَّهَا وَلَدٌ. So this ayat is the base, and its tashreeh and tafseer is throughout the whole surah. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the ayat with Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum. Tashrif लाइए मौलाना अशरफ साहब आगे आ जाओ. Ittaqu rabbakum. Many points to understand here. Number one is the meaning of taqwa. Ittaqu. What does taqwa mean? We normally translate taqwa as fear. Fear Allah. Fear your Rabb. Reality is, taqwa is more than just fear of Allah. Of course, it includes fear of Allah. But on top of that, it includes being constantly aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Having Allah at the back of your mind all the time, 24/7. Being mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when we see taqwa and its definition in Quran, Hadith, Sahaba's Athar, we understand this broader meaning of taqwa. For example, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu was asked about haqiqatul taqwa. And he replied, أن يطاع فلا يعصى وأن يذكر فلا ينسى وأن يشكر فلا يكفر. Taqwa is that Allah is obeyed and not disobeyed. Allah is remembered and not forgotten. And Allah is shown gratitude and not ungratefulness. This is taqwa. أن يطاع, Allah's ita'at. قل أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول. Ita'atullah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Ati'ullaha wa ati'ur rasul wa ulil amri minkum. Always do ita'at of Allah. And fala yusa. Never disobey Allah. We have so many channels of disobeying Allah, especially on social media, with regards to sins of the eyes, sins of the ears, and then sins of the tongue, sins of the hands and feet and genitals. There's so much sinning in front of us. But we have to obey Allah, never disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And وَأَن يُذْكَرَ فَلَا يُنْسَى. Always remember Allah, don't forget Allah. We forget Allah. We get so busy in our job, in our work, in our shop, in our business, in our day-to-day things, in our hobbies, in our sports and football, other stuff. Women have their hobbies, men have youngsters, oldies, we have all our other distractions. We make us forget, and not only forget, neglect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when Allah's hukam comes, we say, no, we're right. You'll see many cases. Don't want to go into detail, but many times we forget. We neglect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do what Bani Israel did. فَنَبَذُوهُ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ. They threw it back behind their backs. Threw the book of Allah behind their backs. And this is why Allah said, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُم. Do not be like those who forgot Allah, so Allah caused them to forget themselves. They're so busy, engrossed, involved in the dunya, they don't realize why they've been created. Their behavior is just like animals, cattle, na'uzubillah. Eat, drink, have sexual desire, sleep, and just that pattern continues. This is why Allah said, إِنْهُمْ إِلَّا كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا يَأْكُلُونَ وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يَتَمَتَّعُونَ وَيَأْكُلُونَ كَمَا تَأْكُلُ الْأَنْعَامِ. That's the reason behind it. Because they forgot the purpose of the creation and they just behaved and wandered around aimlessly. So Allah said, because they forgot Allah caused them to forget themselves. So أَن يُذْكَرَ فَلَا يُنْسَى. Taqwa is that you always have Allah in your mind 24/7. You don't forget Him for a single moment. And وَأَن يُشْكَرَ فَلَا يُكْفَرُ. And shukr is done, nashukri is not done. Always lower your head in front of Allah. Allah tera shukr, Malik tera karam, Parvardigar teri meherbani. My Allah is your blessing. You favored me so much, you've given me so much. I didn't deserve all this. You've given me so much. I can't thank you enough. And some of Mashayikh, Ghaliban Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu said that haqiqat of shukr is that you realize your inability to do the shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah's ni'mats are so much that we are not able to do because shukr itself is a ni'mat. So for that shukr you need to do another shukr, and for that you need to do another shukr. So you realize I can't do shukr of Allah as much as I should be doing it. And when you do that shukr, what happens? لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. You get more. So this is brief statement of Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu for taqwa. Ya ayyuhan nas, ittaqu rabbakum. Alladhi rabbakum. Now Allah started this at taqullah. Ittaqu rabbakum. Your Rabb. This is like an illat, a reason for the hukm. Ittaqu is hukm, ma'lul, and rabbakum is illat. Alladhi khalaqakum is illat. Have taqwa because He's your Rabb. He's your Rabb. He's your Murabbi. He's your creator. He's your Khaliq. He's your Malik. He's your sustainer. He looks after you. He provides everything for you. So as you have to be mindful of your, let's say, your parents, your teachers. So you have to be mindful of Allah. He is your creator. He is the one who created you. And alladhi khalaqakum, second illat, and because He created you. min nafsin wahida. He's your creator. خَلَقَكُم min nafsin wahida. And who is that nafsin wahida, Hazrat? Adam alayhi salam. And Allah's words are true. Whatever Allah speaks is true. We are a creation. The whole world is a creation. And Allah is the creator. So you have to understand this creationism. Don't go on the line of evolution. There's so many flaws in the evolution theory. There's no connection. There are pieces missing from apes to human beings. Where's the connection? Why is that evolution still not happening? Why did it only happen years ago and it's not continuing? Why did it stop? Because there is no evolution. Allah created everything. الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة. Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Now, how did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam? The hadith in Mishkat Sharif says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam to bring soil from the earth and told him what he is going to do. He is going to make that creation, and the creation is going to be like this and like that. Jibreel alayhi salam said, Allah, please don't give this to me. Allah said, all right. Allah called Hazrat Israel alayhi salam, Malakul Maut. Israel said, I will do it. And he took soil from the earth as Allah had directed. Soft, hard, colored, red, white, all types of different soil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself needed that soil like our mother needs the dough in order to make bread. And then Allah made the body khamir of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Allah made it 60 feet tall. And Allah let it dry and set for some time. Now, Malaika came to see this new creation. Now, Iblis, who was among the Malaika, he knew Malaika were informed of this Jadid, something new. Kullu Jadidin Laziz, a new creation is coming. Iblis also knew. So he was jealous of this new creation. So he kicked Hazrat Adam alayhi salam's body. And the body was a bit hollow, like something made from clay, makes a bit of noise when it's shaken. So there was some noise. So Iblis realized that this is hollow, means it can be swayed. I will be able to work on it and sway it in the direction I want. That was his own conclusion. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Ruh to come down. And Ruh entered from the nose and the mouth and the ears of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Adam alayhi salam's eyes opened up and he started looking around. And then the Ruh went down to his body, up to his hips, and Adam alayhi salam sat up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. Insan is created with haste. अभी तो पाँव में रूह गई नहीं कि उठने की कोशिश कर रहे. Then the Ruh went down into his feet. Adam salam stood up and he looked around and he was feeling nice. Allah said, Adam, there's the group of angels there. Go and do salam to them. This will be your greeting and the greeting of your children. And he went and has said, Assalamu alaikum. And the angels replied, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, fazaduhu wa rahmatullah. They added wa rahmatullah. Then Adam alayhi salam started living around, going around Jannat, because he was created high above the heavens in Jannat. So he was going around in Jannat. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him to rest for a bit and told the angels to do sajda to Adam alayhi salam. So all the malaika did sajda except for Iblis. Allah said, "Ma mana'aka an tasjuda lima khalaqtu bi yadayya astakbarta am kunta min al-'alin?" Why are you not doing sajda? Are you haughty? Are you thinking big of yourself? He said, "Ana khayrun minhu. Khalaqtani min narin wa khalaqtahu min teen." I am better than him. You created me from fire and he from clay. And fire is better than clay. Now, first of all, he should have looked at who is giving that command. It's Allah. So he made a mistake there. And secondly, he was mistaken in his analogy. Fire is not better than clay. Clay is better than fire. Fire burns homes, houses, creates havoc and chaos. Mitti doesn't do that. Soil doesn't do that. Soil is soft. Soil grows vegetation, fruits, vegetables, or everything. Soil is soft. You can work on it. You can walk on it. You can make roads on it. You can build houses on it. Soil is better than fire. His analogy was wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rejected him, kicked him out. He was jealous. He was in his jealousy. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to say, خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا. From Allah, from Adam alayhi salam, Allah created his partner, Zawj. How? Ibn Kathir narrates in Tafseer that Adam alayhi salam was put to rest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened his top left rib, took it out, and from there he created Hazrat Hawwa alayhi salam. When Adam alayhi salam woke up, he saw Hawwa alayhi salam by his side, he liked her, he stretched his hand towards her, and Malaika said, "1 minute, nikah first." Now, how did Adam alayhi salam know she is my partner? Some Mufassirin, Mu'abbidin, Ibn Sirin narrate that Adam alayhi salam had seen a dream before that. That Allah opened his rib and created Hawwa alayhi salam, and he was informed in the dream that she is your mate, she is your partner. So he was informed. So Khab, dream to pehle se chal raha hai, it's nothing new. Adam alayhi salam saw the dream. So he knew she's my partner, so he stretched his hand towards her. And Allah had made Hazrat Hawwa alayhi salam extremely good looking, pretty. So there was attraction. And Adam alayhi salam stretched his hand. Allah said, Farishta said, 1 minute, nikah. So Adam alayhi salam's nikah was done with Hawwa alayhi salam. And then they started living together. This is not hadith marfu, but Shaykh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Dehlavi Rahmatullahi alayhi is narrated in Jazbul Qulub ila Diyar al-Mahbub regarding the meher. What meher was given? He says that Adam alayhi salam was told, you see that name on the leaves of the trees of Jannah, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Send 20 times durood on Muhammadur Rasulullah. Hazrat Shaykh has also quoted this in Fazail al-Sharif. So the meher was given and nikah was done, and then they start living together in Jannah. They stayed there for some time. Allah knows how long, how many months, how many years. Allah knows best. And then that mistake happened. And then they were both sent down. It wasn't a sin, it was a mistake. We all forget. فَنَاسِيَ وَلَمْ نَجِدْ لَهُ عَزْمًا. Adam forgot. He forgot. We कहते हैं कि don't go there, don't go in that room, don't do this, don't touch that. अब अगर straight away जाकर touch करें, that's मासीयत. But if time passes over it, 1, 2 months, 3 months, we forget and we go there. This is called forgetfulness. This is what happened here. Adam alayhi salam forgot, Hawwa alayhi salam forgot, और वो खा लिया उस दरख्त में से, तो उसका फिर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस वो हुआ. नाउ ये ट्री कौन सा था? कहते हैं एप्पल का ट्री था, अंजीर का ट्री था, फिग और एप्पल, व्हाटएवर इट वाज. This tree was not the Jannati tree. It was from the earth. Allah had put it there. And the fruit of Jannat is latif. Meaning when you eat it, it dissolves in your body. You don't need to go for istinja. But the fruit of dunya is kasif, is thick, it's got thick material to it. So when it digests, you immediately feel the need for istinja. Like sometimes we have a cup of tea, फौरन istinja की हाजत हो जाएगी. We have some water, पेशाब की हाजत हो जाएगी. So यहाँ भी वो फ्रूट खाया तो अंदर वो डाइजेस्टन सिस्टम जो है उसने फौरन तकाजा किया कि अब इसको निकालो. तो जमीन पर इस्तिंजे के लिए उतारा गया, क्योंकि जन्नत में इस्तिंजे की जगह नहीं है. जाओ अब तुमने ये फ्रूट खा लिया तो नीचे जाके करो इस्तिंजा. यहाँ इस्तिंजे की जगह नहीं है, नो प्लेस फॉर इस्तिंजा हियर. So they both have to come down. Now, when we ponder over the verse وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا, Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّ الْمَرْأَةَ خُلِقَتْ مِنْ ضِلَعٍ أَعْوَجٍ وَإِنَّ أَعْوَجَ شَيْءٍ فِي الضِّلَعِ أَعْلَاهُ فإن استمتعت بها استمتعت بها وبها عوج وإن ذهبت تقيمها كسرتها. A woman was created from a curved rib, and the most curve is in the top rib. The bottom rib is a bit straight as well, but the top rib is the most curved. And Allah created from the top one, not from the bottom one, otherwise you might be straight. Huzur said, وَإِنَّ أَعْوَجَ شَيْءٍ فِي الضِّلَعِ أَعْلَاهُ فَإِنِ اسْتَمْتَعْتَ بِهَا. If you were to derive benefit from her, then you would derive benefit from her in spite of that crookedness. وَإِنْ ذَهَبْتَ تُقِيمُهَا كَسَرْتَهَا. If you were to attempt to straighten it, you'll break it. وَكَسْرُهَا طَلَاقُهَا. And the breaking is divorce. So never try to straighten your wife. She's never going to be straight. She'll straighten you, but she won't become straight herself. No, really, the wife is the greatest muslih. A sheikh, a ustad, parent, mother, father cannot straighten the young man, but the wife, when she comes, barabar sidhi kar degi. We've seen many youngsters outline, लेकिन अच्छी बीवी मिल गई, माशाल्लाह, बराबर 5 टाइम का नमाजी हो गए, दाढ़ी भी आ गई, नमाज भी शुरू हो गई. इधर उधर she used to wander around, and she said, nope, इतने बजे घर में आ जाने का. And he has to be there on that time. He can't wander around with friends anymore. And you know, if you get a good wife, mashallah, she'll make you good. This is why Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما رأيت من ناقصات عقل ودين أذهب للب الرجل الحازم من إحداكن. I have never seen anyone deficient in deen and aql, but more overpowering for the intelligence of a cautious man in comparison to you. मैंने नहीं देखा कि किसी में समझ कम हो, दीन कम हो, लेकिन एक अक्लमंद समझदार आदमी की अक्ल पर गालिब आ जाने में तुमसे आगे निकल सके. तुम सबसे ज्यादा होशमंद और अक्लमंद की अक्ल पर भी गालिब आ जाती है. हजरत मौलाना सलमान साहब once came for Khatm Bukhari from Masjid in Darul Uloom, and he did bayan on this hadith, and he said that, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It works in both ways, for the good and for the bad. In an evil way, if you get an evil wife, she'll turn you for the worst. She'll make you do things which you would not normally do. But if you got a good wife, then she'll do the best for you. She'll turn you towards the good. So it works in both ways. So it's not a criticism for her. It's a sort of a compliment for her. You have this power. Use that power. If your husband is not on the right track, you can bring him on the right track. And this is what is meant from that hadith as well. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word. Another beautiful point is, Allah said, وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا زَوْج. Allah didn't say imra'ah. Imra'ah is used in other places. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا امْرَأَةَ نُوحٍ وَامْرَأَةَ لُوطٍ. Imra'ah. But Zawj is used where it portrays a little bit of love, affection, connection. But she's your Zawj, she's your other half, she's your partner. An-Nisa'u shaqa'iqur rijal. Women are the other half of men. So she's not alien, she's not a jinniyah, she's not another creation. Nauzubillah, she's not an animal, a behemoth, she's not another creation, she is a human being, she's like you, she's your other half. So be careful, be mindful towards her, love her, show her some affection. Yesterday we mentioned those 10 golden advices of Imam Ahmad. At the beginning I thought it's from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullah, because the Arabic was beautiful. But later on after time, we came to learn that it's not from Imam Ahmad, it's from one of the local ulama of Egypt who's named Ahmad. But someone put Imam on there, so it became Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. But the advices are good. And one of those advices was that, treat her gently, nicely, kindly, because she leaves her home, she leaves her friends, she leaves her environment, she sacrifices so much for you, she comes to your house. Be nice to her, be kind to her, be everything for her, be her best friend, be her confidant, let her confide in you, let her tell you all her secrets, and then you can tell her your secrets, and create that bond among yourselves. And there I quoted that beautiful quote which I read in some English book. सब इंग्लिश ये अंग्रेज भी बहुत समझदार हैं, बाल मतलब बहुत समझदारी हिकमत की बातें करते हैं. हदीस में है अल-हिकमतु ज़ाल्लतुल मुमिन इत्तखज़हा हैसुमा वजदहा. Hikmat is the lost property of a believer. Wherever you find it, take it, it's your lost property. So in this matrimonial matters, you sometimes need to get advice from them as well. If you need to go for marriage counseling, go. Even if she's a non-Muslim counselor, but she'll give you some real good advices, some tips to patch up and mend your relationship. जैसे वो पढ़ते हैं ना बुड्ढा बुड्ढी 60 years they were together. So the interviewer asked them, what is the secret of the survival of your marriage? And she said that nothing, we just both care for one another. And if he was to get angry at me, I would just keep there and listen. I would realize that he's had a hard day, let him take everything out. When he finishes his rant, I go to the kitchen, his favorite cookie, make him a nice cup of coffee and put it in front of him. And he would ask, are you not hungry with me? I said, no, I'm not hungry, are you? And the interviewer said, really, you're not hungry? And she said, yeah, I'm not a hypocrite. I didn't have any anger towards him in my heart. I knew he's had a hard day, so I just let him take everything out. And on the other hand, if I was to get angry, he would do the same. He would just keep listening. And then when I finish, he would get something nice for me and cheer me up. So this is the secret of our 60 years relationship. So you have to balance it out. So the English quote said, to her virtues, be very kind. To her faults, be a little blind. To her virtues, be very kind. Where she cooks very nice food and she keeps the house clean, she washes the clothes, she irons your clothes, she looks after your kids, she takes them to school, she's a very nice mom. So if she annoys you, if she says something bad to you, just ignore it. So balance it. Right? Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said something beautiful in the hadith. لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها آخر. A mu'min should never hate a mu'minah. If he dislikes one of her habits, he will like something else of hers, so he should create a balance. If you don't like these things, but you do like these things, then just create a balance. Chalo bhai, overlook. You know, they say in Arabic, وَلَسْتَ بِمُسْتَبْقٍ أَخًا لَا تَلُمُّهُ عَلَى شَعْثٍ أَيُّ الرِّجَالِ الْمُهَذَّبُ. You can never hold on to a friend whom you do not join with yourself in spite of his mistakes and his errors and his behavior. So sometimes our friends also annoy us, but if we want to hold on to our friends, we have to ignore that. We have to look at the good things in him. Then we'll hold on to our friends. Otherwise, we'll lose our friends. If we just pick on small things, we won't have any friends. So to keep, and the more friends you have, the better. One of the mashayikh said in his bayan, istaksilu min al-ikhwan. Have lots of friends. Because if you have lots of good friends, then on the day of Qiyamah, if you are stuck somewhere, one of your friends will come and pull you through, help you out. So you should have lots of friends, because good friends will help you in Maidan Ashar as well. So you have to have good friends, good company, and if your friends annoy you a little bit, what do? You just ignore that. You be friends in spite of whatever they have done, and you'll hold on to those friends. Like our elders, Mashayikh, he used to forgive, overlook. Hafiz Patel Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, one of our Akabir, said that I observed Hafiz Sahib very carefully, and I noticed that people used to sometimes annoy him. Sometimes they would say bad stuff to him as well. But Hafiz Sahib would never keep that in his heart. When that person would come at another time, Hafiz Sahib would welcome him. Oh, open hearted. Oh, आजा बैठो. उसको अपने पास बिठाते. उसको ज़्यादा attention देते. उसको खिलाते, पिलाते, ये भी खाओ, ये भी खाओ, ये भी खाओ. So उसका दिल खुल जाता. That's why Hafiz Sahib never had any enemies. Hafiz Sahib was Hafiz Sahib. Because Hafiz Sahib was like that. So even in your day-to-day life, you have to behave in that manner. So with your wife, you have to behave like that. If she has some faults, you have to ignore as though you haven't seen it. This is why I said to her, faults, be a little blind, as though you're blind when you've not seen anything. If you have this type of mentality, then inshallah, your relationship will work and your life will move on. So Allah said, use the word real nice. وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا. Zawj, your partner. You should love one another, care for one another, share everything with one another. And then Allah said, وَبَثَّ مِنْهُمَا رِجَالًا كَثِيرًا وَنِسَاءً. Allah scattered, spread out many men and women from the twain. Mufassirin say here that Hazrat Hawwa alayhi salam went through 40 pregnancies and she gave birth to 80 children. In every pregnancy, she used to give birth to a boy and a girl. And at that time, the rule was that the boy from one delivery would marry the girl from the other delivery. And the girl from that delivery would marry the boy from this one. So this is how humanity moved on. And then, when this need was no longer needed, the marriage between siblings was prohibited. So, وَبَثَّ مِنْهُمَا رِجَالًا كَثِيرًا وَنِسَاءً. Habil was from the Hamal of Jannat, and Qabil was from the Hamal of the earth. And then you know the story of Habil. Qabil happened. Habil was extremely soft, gentle, nice, kind. And he was told to marry the sister of Qabil, who was good looking. But Qabil was told to marry the sister of Habil, who was not so good looking. So Qabil got jealous, said, no, I want to marry my own sister. Adam alayhi salam said, but that's not allowed. But he was stubborn, he said no. So he developed this bughz and hatred and animosity towards Habil. And when Adam alayhi salam was not there, he said to Habil, I'm going to kill you. لَأَقْتُلَنَّكَ. So Habil said, no, don't do that. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave some instruction. You both offer qurbanis and then we'll decide. And Habil used to look after sheep, goats. He offered the best qurbani. And Qabil used to farm. And he brought some sabzi, bhaji and put it there, which was not of good quality. So the fire came from above and consumed the qurbani of Habil, but did not touch the qurbani of Qabil. So Qabil was more jealous. And he said, I'm going to kill you. And Habil said, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah accepts from the muttaqeen. If you had taqwa, Allah would have accepted you. But you did not fear Allah. You were not mindful of Allah. Allah did not accept your qurbani. And then he said, لَإِن بَسَطْتَ إِلَيَّ يَدَكَ لِتَقْتُلَنِي مَا أَنَا بِبَاسِطٍ يَدِي إِلَيْكَ لِيَقْتُلَكَ إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Finally, Qabil did find the opportunity and killed his brother. And then he didn't know how to bury him. So Allah sent 2 crows, and one crow killed another one, and then dug a hole and put the body there, and then covered it with soil. So he realized, oh, this is what I should do as well. So he buried Hazrat Habil alayhi salam. So since then, this burial has started. The first human being to die was buried in the ground, not cremated. That's the natural way of disposing human body. Allah showed it from day one. ثُمَّ أَمَاتَهُ فَأَقْبَرَهُ. Allah taught how to do qabr and how to bury the human being. So then humanity moved on. وَبَثَّ مِنْهُمَا رِجَالًا كَثِيرًا وَنِسَاءً. Now this is ajib. Allah said, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِنْدَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَعْلُومٍ. All the khazanas and treasures of rizq are in the hands of Allah. Allah only sends down بِقَدَرٍ مَعْلُومٍ, with a fixed measure. When there was only one human being, Allah created rizq for that one human being. Today there are 7 billion human beings. Allah creates rizq for the 7 billion. If that turned to 70 billion, Allah would provide for the 70 billion. Allah's qudrat is amazing. We shouldn't start going down that planning, family planning and this and these, some shari'as going down that population को reduce करना और उसके लिए ये करो ना, वो करो ना, फलाना, democrat. China is getting their population control now. They had one child policy, and for many years now they haven't got enough manpower. That's why they're creating AI robots to do all the farming and everything. A robot की क्या ज़रूरत है? It's artificial, right? There's no comparison between the real and the artificial. We had this program, artificial intelligence, and our Khalid Bhai explained, he started off with showing a wooden hand on the projector. So what is this? It's a wooden hand. What's it for? Well, it's just, it's a wooden hand. Does it do anything? It can't do anything. Right? It's just for demonstration. He can't move his fingers, there's no life on it. It is artificial. It's not real. Similarly, this AI is also artificial. It's not real. So don't depend on the AI. Don't think he can do everything for you. And he gave 1 hour lecture. Mufti Wahad Sahib gave very nice 45 minutes lecture about fiqhi aspect. What I concluded from there is that AI is like kalbe muallam, the trained dog. You train it to hunt, and whatever training you give it is what it will do. So the AI, that robot or whatever they create, it has some information fed to it by the manufacturers, and then some information you have to feed it. For example, you show it to this and say this is an iPhone. So he will look at it and think it's an iPhone. And this is a drink bottle. He will look at it and say it's a drink bottle. Now next time it comes in front of him, he will say this is iPhone. What to do with it? This is. Now if you fed the right information, he will do the right thing. If you give me the wrong information, he will do the wrong thing. So you train it, you teach it, and then it will do all the work for you. And then what happens is AI has all your details in there. You have an alarm clock, it wakes you up. Now you might think that ये तो मोबाइल में मुझे उठाता है, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात हो गई? लेकिन ये alarm clock different है AI का. It knows everything about you. It knows what time you went to sleep. It knows how many hours you need. If you put alarm clock on at 4 o'clock, but it feels from the temperature and the movement of your body that you haven't had enough rest, it won't wake you up. It'll let you sleep for another half an hour, 45 minutes. And when it feels that now your body has rested and you've got the proper rest, then the alarm will go. Now, if that happened and you missed your fajr, who's responsible? You or the alarm clock, the robot? The robot is responsible, you're responsible. You should have used another alarm clock, not the AI. And then you get up on your time and you have to go to work, you have your electric car, your self-drive. You self-drive in there. It takes you to work, you do your work in your car. While you're driving, the car is driving you there. If you had an accident, who's responsible for that accident? The manufacturer of the car or you? तो फिक़ही मसला वहाँ पर आता है. उन्होंने वो तफसील में समझाया. एक होता है मुबाशिर, एक होता है मुसब्बिब. तो बाज़ केसेस में मुबाशिर जो है, जो उसको कर रहा है वो, बाज़ में मुसब्बिब है. तो दोनों में से किसकी जिम्मेदारी होगी, ये उसमें मसला है. आप सुनना वो एक घंटे का लेक्चर, मैं इतना जल्दी नहीं बताऊंगा, वरना बिलाल साहब सब कुछ छोड़ देते हैं. बाद नेक्स्ट वीक हम नेक्स्ट वीक नहीं कहेंगे, आप इसमें सुन सकते हैं हमारा ये आज के उसमें. तो ये सब आर्टिफिशियल है. तो दुनिया में सब चीज़ें हो रही हैं, पता नहीं दुनिया कहाँ से कहाँ जा रही है. द ओरिजिनल थिंग इज व्हाट अल्लाह क्रिएटेड. Allah created man, Allah created woman, Allah created human beings, Allah sent down the rizq for them, Allah has the khazana and treasures of everything. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finishing off now, wattaqullah, again, be mindful of Allah, be aware of Allah. Alladhi tasa'aluna bihi wal arham, in whose name you beg of one another. हम बोलते हैं अल्लाह के नाम पर एक रोटी दे दो, अल्लाह के नाम पर 2 पैसे दे दो, अल्लाह के नाम पर मेरी मदद कर दो. Please, in the name of Allah, by Allah, please help me. Now, why did Allah bring this over here? Because the masla is about zawj, right? And you went to ask for your zawj's hand in marriage. You said, Allah ke naam par apni beti de do. Give me your daughter in the name of Allah. This is why Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said maybe in the hadith of Hajjatul Wada'a, فاتقوا الله في النساء فإنكم أخذتموهن بأمانة الله واستحللتم فروجهن بكلمة الله. Fear Allah regarding your wives, because you took them as a trust of Allah and you legalized them for you by the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قبلتها نكحتها قبلتها, and Allah made them halal for you. So fear Allah, they are Allah's amanat with you. This is why Allah used here, Alladhi tasa'aluna bihi. You ask of one another in His name, and you ask for your wife in Allah's name, and they gave you for Allah's sake, in Allah's name, they gave their daughter to you. So be mindful of that, Allah. Alladhi tasa'aluna bihi, and wal arham, and be mindful of your relations. Relations are of 3 types. One from our father's side, the other from our mother's side, and the third from our susral side. So here, all are included, all relations. So from your in-laws side as well, be mindful of those relations too. From your father's side, from your mother's side, from your in-laws side. Be respectful to all of them. Right? Your father-in-law, no matter how nice he is, he's not your friend like that friend in the street. He's your senior, he's your elder. Respect him. Your mother-in-law, respect her. On both sides, the husband and the wife, they both should respect one another's in-laws. And I normally say to the girls, doing khidmat of your father-in-law, mother-in-law has the same reward or similar reward to doing the khidmat of your own father. So do khidmat of your father-in-law, mother. It's like you're doing khidmat of your own father, your own mother. You're getting the same reward. And same advice to the husband as well. Your father-in-law, mother-in-law, be nice to them, be kind to them, give them gifts, hadiyas, take them for umrah if you got money. Bring them some nice sofas, extension for them, something which they need. Be kind and nice towards them. They are like your real father and mother. If you are well off, and they are bichara struggling, help them with their rent, help them with their shopping. Buy some nice food and fruit and everything for them, cheer them up. This is wal arham. Be nice to all your relations. And finally, inna Allah kana alaykum aqiba. Just remember, Allah is watching you all the time. And ولا تحسبن الله يغفل ساعة ولا أنما يخفى عليه يغيب. Never think that Allah is ghafil. Allah is never ghafil. وما ربك بغافل عما تعملون. إن الله كان على كل شيء شهيدا. إن الله خبير بما تعملون. إن الله كان بما تعملون بصيرا. Allah is always watching everything we do. Allah is Raheem, Kareem, Allah is Halim, Allah is Sabur. He doesn't hold us to account instantly. He just watches, he sees how we behave, and He rewards us according to what we do, according to our behavior. This is the tafseer, short tafseer of the first ayah of Surah Nisaa. Because we had come for nikah, मैंने सोचा कि इसी पर कुछ बात कर ले. अल्लाह पाक कहे सुने को कबूल करे. सबसे पहले मुझे अमल करने की तौफीक दे. मेरे तो फादर इन लॉ मदर इन लॉ भी चले गए हैं, फादर और मदर भी दोनों चले गए हैं. अब जो उनके रिश्तेदार हैं उनके साथ अच्छा सलूक करना है. अल्लाह हमें अच्छे सलूक की तौफीक दे. एक हदीस में फरमाया, इन्न मिन अबर्रिल बिर्रि सिलतुर रजुलि बिअबीहि बाद अन युवल्ला. One of the most क्या कहेंगे, dutiful of duties, being dutiful, is that you are nice and kind to the friends of your father after he passes away and you become the head of the household. So with your uncles, aunties, with your father's friends, be nice to them. Your father's ruh will be happy as well. Abdullah, I'm finishing off now. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu was once going somewhere riding a donkey, and he had that only that ride at the time. And he saw one Bedouin Arabi, and he got off, and he greeted him, embraced him, and then he said, "Why are you walking right on this?" And he had an imama. That Arabi Bedouin did not have an imama. He took off his pagri and gave it to him. Tied. You use this, protect you from the heat of the sun. So the Arabi Bedouin was very happy, and he went. So Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu's khadim attendant asked him, "Hazrat, this is Ajib. These people are Bedouin, they get happy with even small gifts as well. Why did you give him everything you have?" And he said, "He was a friend of my father, Ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. He used to come and cheer up my father, and my father liked him as well. So because of that, I cheered him up." So you have to look after the friends of your father, treat them nicely, kindly, and your father's ruh will be happy. I had one case about miras, and the father had died a long time ago. Mother had appointed, put the house in the name of the elder son. Now he was being stubborn, he was not giving inheritance to the others. He said, "Well, I paid like this, and I paid on the bills, and I paid this, and I paid that, so how should be mine?" Now he's loaded, he's got plenty of other houses as well. He doesn't need this house. So I gave him advice. I said, "भाई अल्लाह ने तुमको बहुत दिया है, दे दो ना, भाइयों का हक है. ये तो वो माँ को ऐसा बोलती है, नाम पे कर देते हैं, लेकिन हकीकत में वो you have to give everyone their share." And he was being stubborn. I said, "Look, let's say for argument's sake the house is yours, but your mother before death did say कि इसमें से सबको equal share दे देना, right? She did say that, कि give equal share to everyone." I said, "If you give share to your siblings, your mother's ruh will be happy in the grave. And if you are being stubborn, the report will go to your mother and she will be sad in her grave. Do you want her to be sad? Do you want her to be sad with you?" And the thing is, the irony is, he never did khidmat of his mother throughout his life. It was the youngest daughter who did all the khidmat, and he's depriving her. तो ये क्यों इस तरह बिहेव? हमारी शरीयत तुमको कह रही है, be nice even to your father's friends, and you're not being nice to your siblings, your father's children, your own flesh and blood. And people, they're really greedy these days. बहुत greedy. There's so much greed. Sign of Qiyamah. As the hadith said, إذا رأيت شحا مطاعا وهوى متبعا ودنيا مؤثرة وإعجاب كل ذي رأي برأيه فعليك بخويصة نفسك ودع أمر العامة فإن من ورائكم أياما الصابر فيهن على دينه كالقابض على الجمر. Huzur used the word شحا مطاعا, greed which is obeyed. Everybody is greedy, following their greed. Never be greedy. Greed and bukhl and stinginess, miserliness is no good. May Allah protect us and give us some understanding. This is the meaning of this ayah. Allah give tawfiq to practice what we preach. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Allahumma lakal hamdu wa lakal shukru. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim taslima. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna ilma. Allahumma inna nas'aluka 'ilman nafi'an wa 'amalan salihan wa rizqan halalan tayyiban wasi'an wa shifaa'an min kulli da'. Allahumma faqqihna fid din wa 'allimna at-tafsir wa at-ta'wil. Ya arhamar rahimin. Ma'az apne fadl wa karam se hum sab ki maghfirat farma दीजिए, पूरी उम्मत की मग़फ़िरत फरमा दीजिए, पूरी उम्मत पर रहम कर दीजिए, करम कर दीजिए, माफ़ फरमा दीजिए, हिदायत नसीब फरमाइए, सही राह पर चलाइए। या अल्लाह हमें कुरान पाक को पढ़ने, समझने, उस पर अमल करने, उसकी नशो इशाअत करने की तौफ़ीक़ नसीब फरमाइए। हमारी कोताहियाँ, कमज़ोरियाँ, सुस्तियाँ, ग़फ़लतें माफ़ फरमाइए, हमारी ख़ताओं से दरगुज़र फरमाइए। हमारे दोस्त बड़ी मोहब्बत से या अल्लाह इतनी देर से बयान में आकर बैठे, बहुत से बेचारे काम पर से आकर बैठे, इनका आना बैठना कबूल फरमाइए। या अल्लाह जो कुछ कहा गया उससे हम सबको या अल्लाह फ़ायदा पहुँचाइए और कहे सुने पर अमल करने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमाइए। हमसे राज़ी हो जाइए, हमारे सारी मुश्किलात आसान फरमा दीजिए, पूरी उम्मत की मुश्किलात आसान फरमा दीजिए। हमारे फ़लस्तीनी भाइयों पर ख़ुसूसी रहम फरमाइए। अल्लाह आज भी सुबह बम गिरा कर फजर की नमाज़ पढ़ते हुए या अल्लाह मस्जिद पर या अल्लाह उस जगह को बम गिरा कर 100 तलबा को शहीद कर दिया। या अल्लाह हद हो गई, अल्लाह हद हो गई, या अल्लाह हद हो गई। आप तो मैदान में तशरीफ़ ले ही आइए, आज ही इस मामले को कंट्रोल में ले आइए। या अल्लाह बेचारे उन शहीदों की अरवाह को, उनके खून को कबूल फरमाइए। या अल्लाह उनके दर्जात बुलंद फरमाइए, उनके पीछे तमाम रिश्तेदारों को, मुतअल्लिक़ीन को, अहले फ़लस्तीन को सब्र जमील अता फरमाइए। उनके क़ुलूब पर सब्र और सकीना नाज़िल फरमाइए, उनकी मदद नुसरत फरमाइए, हिफाजत फरमाइए, गैब से मदद फरमाइए। या अल्लाह गैब से मदद फरमाइए, बदर के फरिश्तों को नाज़िल फरमाइए। अल्लाह हमें कमज़ोरी मुआफ़ फरमाइए। अल्लाहुम्मा अर्हम ज़अफ़ना, अल्लाहुम्मा इलैका नश्कू ज़अफ़ क़ुव्वतिना व क़िल्लतहीलतिना व हवानना अला अन्नास या अरहमर राहिमीन। अंत रब्बुल मुस्तज़अफ़ीन व अंत रब्बुना इला मन तकीलुना इला बईदिन यतजहमुना अम इला अदुव्विन मल्लकतहु अमरना इन लम तकुन साख़ितन अलैना फला नुबाली ग़ैर अन आफ़ियतक हिय अवसअ लना नऊज़ु बिनूरि वजहिका अल्लज़ी अशरक़त लहु ज़ुलुमात وصلح عليه أمر الدنيا والآخرة من أن ينزل بنا غضبك أو أن تسقط علينا لك العتبى حتى ترضى ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بك يا رب العالمين. اللهم احفظنا وجميع المسلمين فإنك خير الحافظين. اللهم استرنا وجميع المسلمين فإنك خير الساترين. اللهم انصرنا وجميع المسلمين فإنك خير الناصرين. اللهم ارزقنا وجميع المسلمين فإنك خير الرازقين. اللهم ارحم ضعفنا، اللهم إنا ضعفاء فقو في رضاك ضعفنا وخذ إلى الخير بنواصينا واجعل الإسلام منتهى رضائنا يا كريم يا أرحم الراحمين يا أكرم الأكرمين يا أجود الأجودين يا راحم المساكين يا ناصر المستضعفين يا ناصر المستضعفين يا ناصر المستضعفين يا حنان يا منان يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا سند من لا سند له يا ذخر من لا ذخر له يا حرز الضعفاء يا كنز الفقراء يا عظيم الرجاء يا محسن يا مجمل يا منعم. انقطع الرجاء إلا منك نجنا مما نحن فيه وأعنا ما عليه. اللهم نج المستضعفين من المؤمنين في فلسطين وفي جميع أنحاء العالم. اللهم احفظ الحرمين الشريفين، اللهم احفظ المسجد الأقصى، اللهم اجعل هذه البلاد آمنة مطمئنة وسائر بلاد المسلمين. اللهم آمنا في أوطاننا واصلح أئمتنا وولاة أمورنا. اللهم لا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين. हमारे अपनी पूरी दुआएं कबूल फरमाइए, हर खैर अता फरमाइए, हर शर से बचाइए। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम। सल्लल्लाहु अला खैरि ख़ल्क़िही सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि व सहबिही अजमईन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन।